Welcome, everybody, to Too Legit to Crit, a tabletop role-playing podcast made for players who distribute loot fairly.
Sorry, come again?
What? What is this loot you speak of?
Yeah, see.
What is this fairly you speak of?
So basically, this show is not made for you.
No.
Oh, okay, cool. Bye.
This show is not made for you. So, let's do intros, because we haven't done this in a while. My name is John
Oh.
Santana.
I'm Atlas.
I'm still Justin. Last I checked,
Ladies and
anyway.
gentlemen, we are joined once again by the bearded man himself, Justin.
And an epic beard, by the way.
It is, your beard is looking fucking
Yes.
glorious.
Thanks, guys. I made it myself.
You know, I'm just
What
gonna...
is that voice supposed to be?
It's my cute voice. Fuck off.
Oh, that's supposed to be cute? Oh,
Hey.
Wow.
Hey, it's cute.
You got mean while I was gone.
you left me alone with John for too long.
Valid. Yeah, valid.
Yeah, she has.
That's
Yeah,
my
I
bad.
do have that influence on people. People are nice when they meet me, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay.
I'm still nice
Still
compared to
nice.
you, though.
Yeah.
Just like, we're still nice. We're still nice.
Yeah, we're still nice.
No. Yeah, you make that illusion for yourselves that, yeah, I'm still not. No, you're not. You are now horrible people.
Ah.
I
Just
am. I'm a
because-
terrible human being.
Just because you are in my proximity.
That is not how that works. I mean, that's how osmosis works, but that is not how that works.
I think
I
it
just
is.
realized
I
I have,
think I do have a negative
A
influence
pile
on
of blankets and
anybody I
hoodies
touch.
and ignore my
Pile of
left finger.
footies.
I'll just look at that.
I have a new backdrop.
Yeah, it's darkness and the pit of the void. It's
Darkness,
nothing.
there
I
you
love
go.
it.
So there you go. It's fitting.
I don't. It's the same.
Yeah.
I got a new
My-
chair,
just-
if that counts.
Pile of hoodies.
All right, just a quick
Ah.
hello to both Connell and Sam who are in the chat.
Yeah.
Hey guys, how's it
Hi.
Shout
going?
out.
All
What are
right,
we
so
talking
how's
about?
everybody's
We're
week
talking
been?
about
How's everybody? Gaming week. Let's talk gaming weeks. What have
Justin,
we
go
been up
first.
to?
Our guest tonight, Justin.
So I haven't done much gaming this week, but I did come up
Wah,
with a
wah.
really cool idea for an encounter that I briefly told John about, which came off the back of an Instagram short that I saw, where the guy was basically like, the party bought a ship for really cheap, and then slowly all of their crew were disappearing, and it turns out the whole ship was a mimic. Great, love it.
Wait, but you'd already be in the mimic.
Exactly.
So then, if you're disappearing, is it just you being digested?
Yes.
Ew, I love it.
Right?
That's
Now,
really- that's
I
really
tweaked
cool.
it slightly because I thought that's fun, but it's a little bit cruel. And I'm not that cruel yet. But so what I had instead was they're on a boat and then they see another ship and they're like, oh, there's a ship over there. So they go to investigate and it's an abandoned ship. But while they're exploring the ship to find out what happened to the crew, they are no longer near their ship. And it turns out everything on the ship is a mimic. But once they clear out all the mimics, then they have a free ship.
I like the first one better. I think the ship should be a mimic.
Yeah, but then they don't get a free ship out of it. And then they're stuck in the middle of the ocean.
No, they're dead. They're dead at that. There's no stuck. They're dead.
That's just the TPK.
They don't have to know that. Isn't there a
You
game
say
about
that like it's a fucking problem.
No, there's a game. Someone just talked to me about it in Threads for Halloween, which 10 Candles. Isn't that the whole point of that? Is everyone's dead anyways?
Yeah, 10 candles
mean,
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah,
I want
you
to put
sniff
this
out
in my
their light
pirate
compared
campaign.
to-
I can't
eating
kill him off in the
them.
middle of a campaign.
Okay. What if the lower
You
deck
can
is the
if
mimic?
you really tried.
Look, John, we're not all you, mate.
Just saying. I mean, if you put the
Shit.
effort in, you can easily kill them.
Oh, I'm well aware.
Okay, Liberator.
It's just, look, deaths happen.
Uh-huh. Right. They
People
just
just
happen
need
to happen
to get
around
used to
you
that fact.
all the time.
Your character's still alive for now, isn't she?
She doesn't trust your ass. I don't know why
Yeah,
I just did
valid.
the neck bob with
Entirely
that, but like I really got into like
Yeah, there was a definite amount of sass added onto that. I'm like, all right. All right, so how about you, Atlas? Have you done any gaming this week?
Did you give me this?
Okay, good
Cool,
answer.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cool chat, good chat.
good
John,
chat, good chat. That's about it. That's about all we've got time for, folks. Atlas said, yeah.
it's good to be back. See you guys later. See you in a couple of
have
months.
to-
How's that?
I
Another
have
great
to be
episode.
Careful what I say. Yeah, I gamed this week. Yeah, I did a dungeon crawl. Okay, there we go. I played my Stone Warden, and we did a dungeon crawl, and we crawled through a dungeon.
Yeah, we kind of expected that one.
So you know
Let
how
me
like,
guess,
when
you
do a
fought
dungeon
some
crawl?
stuff?
Not really.
Oh, well.
We fought like 2 skeletons and 2 ghouls, I think.
Stop.
Not when I literally one hit smash dead. God, yes. Okay, thank you, Connell, in the chat. Surprise theater of mine dungeon crawl. Yeah, 120-foot stretch of hall at a time. You come into a room, it's 30 by 30 feet. What's in it? Nothing. Okay. Like that was like it was a long dungeon crawl. It was and our group is not meant for dungeon crawls because there's no map, there's no minis, there's no description, there's really no combat, there's no traps. It was just you walk down a hallway
That you know of.
that we know. Honest, next
There you
session,
go.
watch him be like it was all in your head and you're fucked up and you're like stuck and you're going into madness. But no, he won't do that. But it's,
Plot twist: the first
was-
step you all took was a trap, and then you're all just in a coma.
I would prefer that.
Yeah, that would be
It was
interesting.
rough. It was rough. And I'm not trash talking the GM because he's a dear friend of ours and I love him dear much. That is just a very hard game to run for the kind of table we sit at and the kind of players we have. And I don't know what he was thinking. I'm going to have to sit him down and be like, hey, bro, don't ever do that again. But so yeah, I played. More importantly, though, I've been reading Household and I might. All my players want me to do a one shot. The only problem is that if I do a one shot, I'm really concerned that they're going to want to ditch the current campaign and switch. Which is fine if they do. Like, that's fine. But
I mean, not necessarily. You
What?
know, not necessarily. If it's a one shot, then
Just don't let them
You
do what
know.
I did.
what'd you do?
I was building a character for a one shot that a friend of mine's running, and I had a lot of downtime one day, so I kept fleshing the character out. And now he's got like a 3-page backstory, and I really want to play him in the campaign. I don't want to waste him on the one shot.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I did that before once too, because I did an experimental one shot character, fell in love with her. She got thrown away, basically. I'm like, but
Fun.
yeah. I mean, I guess that's kind of the problem when you do have one shots and you get invested
Yeah.
in building these characters.
yeah.
You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I will never do a 3-page backstory because I don't believe in them. I think they're a pile of shite.
I mean,
But-
I was exaggerating a little bit. It's not 3
Meanwhile,
pages.
meanwhile, his diva drama Madonna singer actress from I'm giving her that.
Yeah. Do you know how many pages that is?
I don't know.
That,
Probably
do you
just
know how
didn't
many
write it
pages
down.
that
Probably
that
none. 'cause You
character
probably
is?
didn't write it down.
oh,
Just
Nothing. It's like half. It's not even half a page. It's
he probably
literally
literally wrote Shakira.
no, it's Madonna.
everything.
It's Madonna.
Most things is basically
Same difference.
basically
paragraph.
was a star. Now not a star. Things happened in between, and
Things
everything
happened.
that I've said has been kind of improvised.
That is one of my favorite sayings during combat. If something's happening off stream or off, like if someone's
we
in
go,
the initiative
here we
order
go.
and you can't
Words
see
are
them
hard.
doing it, their English is hard.
Get the clip ready.
It's initiative. They're up next, but you can't really see what they're doing, so you can't really see what they're doing. So you say like, "Oh, stuff happens." Like, what's that called? There's got to be a word for that, right?
Off camera.
Lost track.
I mean,
like,
yes, yeah, off camera, but you don't call off
About
camera when you're
30
playing a
seconds
tabletop
ago.
role playing game. John, you're always off track.
I
And
do.
also, you're still Dream
I
Child. I hope
absolutely
you
do.
know.
But I am the dream child.
Anyways, John,
Nightmare.
how was your gaming this week?
My gaming this week, the only thing I actually did was Fabula Ultima on Wednesday. Couch tried some new mechanics. We tried some vehicle mechanics in it,
Fun.
where we were piloting a vehicle. It worked really fucking well.
Yeah.
Not, there were certain aspects of the system which I think could have been better, but
Mhm.
it did work well, and the game was quite fluid, and we had a good
Mhm.
laugh fucking doing it.
That's awesome.
So we tried that. That was fun.
I'm so
And
excited to do
now
the mech
I am
thing.
prepping the start of Impossible Landscapes, which we're having our session 0 on Wednesday.
Fun. That'll be really
Finally.
good.
Fucking
Yeah, I was gonna say.
finally.
I feel like you've been talking about that for forever.
Oh, yeah. It is.
Yeah.
As long as he's known about Delta Green, yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
no,
you're
actually,
ready for it then.
Ex Oblivione was my Delta Green
Yes.
thingy, and I've just
Almost
finished
as long
running
as he's
that.
known about Delta Green.
And
Oh,
then
we're
Impossible
lying for a couple of
Landscapes came out,
weeks.
and it's like, so yeah, it was. I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to getting to know new characters and whatnot. So other than that, that's been my gaming. However, I do have like gaming related tangent. So I was walking through one of our shopping centres in town, which I haven't been in for months. And I was with my two smalls at the time, and all of a sudden we stopped and went, there's a geek shop there.
It's like a mall?
There's a big,
You went to a
no,
mall?
it's just like a little shop in a mall, yeah. For
Okay.
those of you on the other side of the
On the
Atlantic.
other side of the pond,
Shopping
yeah.
center.
on the other side of the pond, which is
Well, I think the
majority
issue
of
is
our
right. It's
listener
not as
base
big as a
are gonna
mall.
be- It's not a mall though. It's,
Yeah, it's like
Because for
6
us,
shops.
mostly
There's about
most
six-
shopping centers are kind of the ones that are like the front doors are outside, like it's an exterior front door, and they're all like in a line together, but it's not enclosed. Malls are the enclosed ones.
Yeah, so it is enclosed, so it would
Okay, so
would
it's a mall.
fall under the category of mall, but that's just because it is like Justin said, 6 shops and one eat.
It's not about the size; it's about how much geekery you buy. It.
There
Anyways, geek
were
shop.
there were more shops, but
They're all
economy,
closed down.
they're all
Oh,
closed
yeah.
down. So
Yep.
big shout out to the Geek Vault, which is the shop that I saw.
Good name.
I went in with my two smalls, got talking to the person behind the counter, also a TTRPG fan.
I hope
That's the
so,
one with
because
And
the
that-
games.
Carbonite Han Solo inside,
Yes,
isn't it?
they've got Carbonite Han Solo in the window. It's like, woo, I like it. So I was talking to,
Wanna get the
I
ice
started
cubes.
looking at the dice with the kids, and the person behind the counter goes, "You into D&D?" I went, "Fucking no." I
Shocker.
said, "I'm into tabletop role playing. I'm not into that fucking abomination." And so then we started talking, and they're into Delta Green as well. So I've made a new friend.
I won't hold that against them.
Aw.
And I bought my kids their first dice sets.
Aw. What colors?
So
It's important.
they both went for like a green color, and my
yeah.
daughter, she went and got the Witcher set. Like, okay.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
To be
You
fair,
go,
they
girl.
do
Be
look cool.
individual. Be individual. Do your
No,
own
those
thing.
Witcher
I love
dice,
it.
they look sick. I've seen them. They look
Yeah.
awesome.
I'm gonna have to look at them.
Yeah,
That's so
so
cool.
so it's my smallest birthday today, so she got the dice as part of her birthday gifts, and my son's in a month, and he's gonna get his in his birthday gifts as well.
Very
So-
cool.
Nice.
Very
We're currently
cool.
playing
Make
No
it
Thank You
stretch out.
Evil and Avatar Legends.
I love
but
that you
we
play with your
might
kids, by the
stretch
way.
out to.
Like, play tabletop role playing with your games, kids.
I was gonna say that was an
whatever.
accusation.
This
I mean,
conversation
hopefully you
took
play
a
with your
turn.
kids. Go to the park, hide and
Well,
go seek.
I need to send you the rules for that fish game that I made, John, because
You
Every
do
kid-
need to send me.
every kid that I've had play
I
that
don't have
loves it.
kids.
That's
I don't have
that's a you
kids.
problem.
Nor
I'm not
do I
sending
have
it
small
to you.
children around me. Then why you
That's-
say, okay.
I said
You said-
John.
you said-
Your name's not John.
I thought you said I have to send you the thing I made for John. Like, you made it for John, and you were going to send
No, I need to send
but
it
I mean,
to John.
You don't need to. I mean,
You don't have to be
play
a
the
kid
fish
to
game
play
with
it. It's just a
kids.
really fun little game. It's just essentially the whole concept of it is one of you plays as the reef, so that they control the predator that's hunting the reef. The rest of you play fish on the reef. Your object is to survive for a certain number of rounds as the fish, and the predator's job is to eat you all. That's it. That's the concept.
I like it.
So all the fish are based
Isn't that a-
on real fish. Same for the predators. And it's
Okay.
all randomly like decided from dice rolls what fish you are, what predators attacking, things like that.
I mean, I think when you told me about it, I went, "Fuck, that's a
Mm.
cool concept."
That is
Yeah.
It works
I'm
really
trying
well.
to
I've run
think
it quite a
where-
few
like,
times
Where
now.
does that fit? How does that fit in TTRPG versus board game? Is my question.
Well,
what makes it?
there is no board, so it is all theater of the
Okay.
mind
Okay, all right.
for a start.
You're saying fish game. I'm literally seeing colors like, oh, shiny.
It could. Well, that's the thing. It could well be a board game.
It could
right?
be.
There's nothing stopping it
Yeah.
from being that.
But
It
to
was
be,
essentially.
to be fair, in that argument, so could D&D and so could Pathfinder.
I mean, yeah, so could every
Literally,
TTRPG,
Yeah,
really.
literally any TTRPG could be a board game. I feel like we talked about that at one point because it's like literally like that
Many
line
times.
then is so thin, so thin, so thin.
Yeah, essentially, I think what it comes down to is there a set scenario every time? Yes or no? That to me is what
Right.
defines a board game. Because at most board games, they have very set defined scenarios, right? Whereas TTRPGs, it's very open to interpretation. Like you can go as big or as small with them as you want.
Someone,
I think confinement in the rules would be
Yeah.
definitely, which is kind of supports my argument that I made a couple of episodes ago. Whereas I don't see Pathfinder as a role playing game anymore.
Yeah,
I
know.
see it as a
Oh, so-
board game with role play elements.
Do you guys have the card game Mafia? Do you guys know what that is? Like if I say,
I've
the card
played
game
it,
Mafia. Okay,
I know-
I
I
had
know
someone
the
try
clueless.
to. Okay, you know what I'm talking about though. Just like someone tried to make the
Yeah, yeah.
argument that could technically be a tabletop role playing game, and at first it's like no, and I thought about it, I'm going. I mean, it could be. It could. It's like you know.
I guess
if you
it
put
depends
some
on how hard you
bedazzle in
lean
it.
on the role play
I
elements
know.
of it, right?
Exactly. I was like,
It's not though. That would fit into, I think, the same category that I'm just saying. It's a board game with role play elements because you could
Yeah.
also play it with zero role play and it would just be mechanical.
and there's no board.
Exactly. Right.
So,
At that point, it's a card game, really.
which it is, but it's a role playing card.
Could be.
It's all
So,
games.
can
It's all
Uno
people
be a
having fun.
role playing game?
Uno is
There's
a
no
role playing
rules,
game.
Though.
It's
There's
a
no
way of
rules.
life.
That is no Uno is just a reason to murder your friends. That's all it is.
No, that's Monopoly. You're getting confused. Monopoly is
I
a
think-
reason
I
to
think-
murder people.
I would like a Monopoly based role playing game.
No,
Isn't
Yeah, just where
that just
you
life?
can.
That's
yeah,
boring.
but you don't have the same disposable income.
I'm sorry.
In life.
That's why I can't
I'm sorry, I
watch sitcoms.
I can't buy a property and evict people because I fucking want to in
I mean,
life.
you could get good.
No, I can't. Not with my finances.
Get good at life, man.
That sounds like a you problem.
I know.
You rolled
Hey.
poorly. It's character creation.
Hey, fucking step it up with the Ko-fi subscription. and we can fucking do it. Come on. Let's get to $200,000 a month and let's see what we can fucking do.
Because then we'll have Justin come in a pink bedazzled Spider-Man thong, and that's a completely different show.
$200,000 a month. I'm running for fucking
Justin's like, what
President.
the fuck did I just get volunteered?
No.
No. No. I did. Speaking of role playing games, I'm super excited because like I've been asking a bunch of people on social media about like Halloween games. Do people do Halloween campaigns? Do they do one shots and stuff like that? And this could be a segue, but whatever. My point is, Connell brought it up in the
Is
chat
it?
that he
Not
got
bad
talking
segue.
to,
Not bad.
but he got talking to a Halloween thingy. What is it called? We were just talking about it. It's a single of one shot. He got talking to a Halloween one shot because fuck. Our GMing cycle, our schedule got fucked because one of our friends that GM took vacation and literally fucked the entire system or the schedule. So we're like, okay,
Shame on him for wanting some fucking
Right.
time off.
What's that?
Exactly. Well, but here's the thing. I'm the one that was supposed to be GMing that weekend, and everybody's like, well, this sucks. I'm like, okay, well, why don't we do a one shot without that person? We just do it earlier in the day since they're not going to be there, and everyone's for it. So I'm like, okay, so now I've got to come up with a one shot in 2 weeks, a week and a half, 1 week, 2 weeks. I don't know. I have to come up with a one shot at some point. But then I looked at Connell. I'm like, I'll one shot that day if you run a Halloween one shot the following weekend, even though it's not your weekend to run. And without hesitation, he goes, okay. And I'm going, what the fuck did I just like? That was too willing. Have you guys ever had that where someone like in the game was too, and you're going, what the fuck are you playing? And now I'm paranoid. Now I'm like, maybe he shouldn't run Halloween. Maybe I should run Halloween. Like, I don't know what's happening. We're gonna die. We're all gonna die.
No, I mean, I think he's probably had something planned for a while.
It wasn't his
I
week to
think
run.
it's-
He wasn't gonna run Halloween.
Yeah, but it doesn't really necessarily
Doesn't mean he doesn't have
matter.
something planned.
Doesn't mean
He
it.
does. I do very much have plans.
There you
There you go.
Sam's like, he has plans. Sam, are you in on it? Do I have to watch my back with you? Are you in on it? Sam's dangerous, y'all.
Quite possibly. Quite
Sneaky.
possibly.
Maybe I'm in on it.
If you're in on it, that'll be the
Dun,
best
dun,
fucking
dun.
Halloween ever.
There you go.
That's the plot twist.
That's the
See,
plot twist.
oddly enough, I don't have any Halloween plans. I don't have any
No games?
games planned. I mean, we've got the Darkest House that we're going to be streaming next weekend on Saturday for the Tabletop Tailspinners Network. And then we're trying to get together Critting the Nerdverse for the 20th. That's going to be Halloween themed.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Halloween game.
Other you know, I might try get a Delta Green up and running.
Yeah. No, I like I said, I opened it up in threads and a lot of people had different like things that they're doing. And I'm shocked at how many like stuff. How much stuff?
How many stuff? Yeah, that's correct.
I'm surprised at how many stuff get good out there, you know? Figure that one out.
Okay, what's in the bottle?
It's just water. No, that's not true. There's
Uh-huh.
some Celsius. There's some Celsius in it, which is basically caffeine. No carbonation. It's strawberry. Nope, no, it's not. Cranberry lemon. It's
She's getting smashed.
Little bit of vodka.
A bit of vodka.
no. I can't have vodka. Vodka. No. No. No.
What does
No.
vodka do to you, Atlas?
No. No.
That's a story for
No.
another time.
Yeah. That's a story for another time. We don't do vodka. We don't do alcohol in general anymore, but we sure as fuck don't do vodka. Yeah, no.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That's
then
we're all
you-
drinking
you're
at the same
talking-
time.
You're
Hydrate.
you're talking to the wrong people about drinking.
Yeah. Also, y'all are like, what are y'all drinking? Y'all got like, hey, what do y'all call them over there?
we don't
Soda
drink.
pop?
Me and John both
I
don't
don't drink either. I don't either. I just
No,
said
like, we
that. But
actually
I'm
Yeah,
talking
we
about
don't
the.
drink.
We're both
I'm talking
teetotal.
No, I'm talking. What is these Coke things y'all drink? Like over, y'all
Oh,
always got these big ass. What is that?
That's Fanta
Fanta
Fruit Twist.
Coke.
and Coke. Okay.
Have you heard of that over in America?
Well, no, okay.
Surely
so
you
there's
guys
a
have got
commercial-
Coca-Cola.
Yes, we do. I grew up.
Has Coca-Cola reached you guys yet?
I don't know. Something about cocaine in it. They had to take it back.
Has it crossed the Atlantic?
No, but for real, like
Is it across
I
the
grew- okay.
Coke-Atlantic?
Have y'all heard that
Wait.
YouTube video where they call it soda? It's like, oh, for refreshing soda. I'm like, stop calling it that. But then I guess other people call it pop.
Nobody calls it soda. Apart from
Yeah.
Americans.
No. Americans call it soda. We don't.
Yeah.
I call it Coke. Literally. Do you want a
I
Coke?
used
Yeah,
to
what kind?
use-
Sprite.
I used to use pop until somebody went, fucking hell, how old are you?
See, whenever I hear somebody call it pop, I generally follow it up with "Goes the Weasel."
Yeah, I said pop and someone just went, fuck me, you're old.
Yeah, I tend
Wow.
to just go with whatever drink it is, right? If I want a bottle of Coke, I'll say I'll have a bottle of Coke. If I want like a lemonade, I'll have a lemonade. If I want
That's
Fanta,
fair.
I ask for Fanta. I tend to
That's
just
fair.
go with whatever the drink is.
I just,
Mm,
I grew
yeah.
up
I do
calling
have-
it Coke.
I've got-
like,
I've got fake Fanta.
what
Was
is
it Tango?
that?
Yeah.
Why is it
Tango's
yellow?
better than Fanta.
Oh, it
Tango's
is.
better
It's
than
so much
Fanta.
better than Fanta. So much better than Fanta.
Yeah.
But it's
How
fake
much-
Fanta.
How much?
In Spain, we had Casa Orange, which was even better than anything ever.
Okay. How
But
much sugar
anyway,
is in
so
that?
this is our podcast about soft drinks.
Yes, we have changed the topic. I'm back. We've changed it.
No.
So,
We
anyway,
always,
talk
we
to us.
always talk
Halloween
about
plans.
eat and play. Eat and play. Eat and play. That's a thing. Our good friend
All right,
Andrea
how
taught us
about we
eat and
talk-
play.
So, do you want to tell us more about these Halloween plans that people have got?
Sure. I want to tell you more about these Halloween plans. Okay, so Inadequate Dungeon, one of my favorite listeners and viewers and friends on Threads. This year, I'm thinking about doing an Eldritch Horror pirate adventure. I haven't come up with a name yet or a plot, but I know we'll have access to a pirate ship jungle gym. I think it's supposed to be jungle gym. So like we have to. Which yeah, I mean like if you have access to that, fucking yeah. Like
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
oh, we have a pirate
It would
jungle
be
gym we have
rude not
access
to.
to. Are you kidding me? Like
would.
I would kill to LARP in that. I don't think he's talking about LARPing, but still, I would be all over that. And this is the one I was telling you about for my next. Y'all need to start saying the names, not me. Next Nocturnum. Depending on
There
the
you
vibe,
go.
you yeah.
First time.
I
First
had
try,
to think
you did
about
it.
it. I was
You
doing
did it
the
well.
syllables in my brain.
Fucking proud of you.
Depending on the vibe you want to go with, check out 10 Candles or Dread. 10 Candles is a game about people turning an apocalypse, but it's very dark. Dread uses a Jenga tower for conflict resolution, which I think is super cool, and I haven't tried Monster of the Week, but I've heard nothing but great things about it. I want to know about
I've
Dread
seen
and
it.
Jenga tower.
I've
Have
seen
you?
that played. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So
Will
essentially-
Wheaton did it, didn't he?
Yeah, Will Wheaton played it on his show.
Yeah.
Essentially, right? It is a
Yeah.
role-playing game, but instead of dice rolls for resolutions, you pull bricks from a Jenga tower. The
Oh
bricks
my
have
God.
stuff on them. If the tower falls, that's a critical failure at whatever you're attempting. So it could fall on a really mundane thing, and then it's not so bad. Or it could fall on trying to run away from the monster that's chasing you, and then you're fucked.
I need to play this.
Hmm.
I need
It's
to play
so good.
That might be my one shot. Let me hang on.
Because
Yeah,
like
Dread-
the thing
Dread
with that as
sounds
well,
good.
right, is it adds so much more tension to moments because if it's a big moment, you actually have to physically pull a brick out of a Jenga tower. So you've got the tension of the
yeah.
moment plus the tension of is the tower gonna fucking collapse on me right now? It's
And
so
it
good.
it also adds the concept of failure is inevitable.
Yes.
Okay, so can
Because
you play
the
with
more
any
you
Jenga
succeed,
tower?
the high. Yeah, just a Jenga tower.
It
Just
does
It
not
can be
matter.
any
Okay.
Jenga tower, yeah.
Because I want to
But
get
there
the
is
giant
like you can
yard
get a
one.
specific Jenga tower for it, where it's got all the stuff like printed on the bricks already. But you
Hmm.
can do it with just a
Hmm.
generic Jenga tower.
I want to get the big yard Jenga tower that's like people size. So you can. Yeah.
Dude, playing Dread with that would be insane.
Right? Right? I take my DMing to the next level, man. Like I'm ahead of the game. So I want to try.
Because then, not only is failure bad for your character, it could crush you.
there you go. We'll talk about fucking immersion.
I mean, but yeah, I mean,
and-
what you were saying though, John, failure is inevitable, and this kind of reinforces that. For me, failure's the norm, but we'll get onto that later.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Yeah, that's the next thing we're gonna talk
We've
about.
got good stuff. I have two more because they sound fucking amazing. I don't even know what they're talking about, but it sounds good, right? Resurrecting
Right.
Vlad the Impaler in my cyberpunk games.
Cyberpunk
Ooh.
Vlad the Impaler. Now,
Yeah.
when they say Vlad the Impaler, are they going like the historical figure, or are
don't
they going like the Dracula sort of
I
thing?
don't know.
Because that could go at one of either ways. Because obviously there's a lot of
Both would be
myths.
fun though.
Both would be fun, like a cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk 2020 RPG. If you are, I might just hit him up in the comments later. Be like, "Yo, what the hell exactly are you talking about?" Because that looks amazing. Like,
Tell me more.
tell me more. I want to know more. And then Oddities, I love her dearly. She's a regular around here. Magical Kitties, Save the Day one shot is her Halloween.
Fair enough.
I don't
Magical
care.
Kitty
Like,
save the day.
it makes no sense.
That
But
kind of reminds
anytime,
me of that Covenant
yeah.
Crucible thing where you can play as the companions or the
I just want to be a
creatures
were
to save
raccoon.
your masters.
Yeah, I just want to be Covenant Crucible. My goal, Stefan, if you're listening, I really want to be a were raccoon.
A were
That's
raccoon.
it. Really want to be a were raccoon.
Fair enough.
They exist. It's a whole thing. Go read the book. It's really good. But I want to be one.
Yeah, so we've gone over Halloween things,
Mhm.
and they all sound amazing. They do sound
Mhm.
fucking outstanding.
Right?
You know, I just haven't really had time to put much together other
Oh,
than
good.
the one shot for creating the Nerdverse. But yeah, I do like a good Halloween romp.
Yeah, they are good
Don't
fun.
call it that.
Why? What's wrong with the fucking word romp?
It's a great
Got
word.
different connotations over here.
What does it mean?
It's like, I don't want to say it's sexual, but it's very just like creepy. Like it's the thing that the old guy says, like, "Hey, you want to go romp around in the bed
Again.
a little bit?"
Again, I'm the oldest member of this fucking podcast.
Mhm.
I think that entitles me
That's
to
his
fucking
job.
say certain things.
His
I can
job is
say
to be the
pop
creepy
and
old man.
romp in the same fucking sentence.
Pop and romp. You know, I'm not even
Pop
gonna
and romp.
digest that because that could go. What's your topic
You
about, John?
The newer generations have got pop and lock. We had pop and romp.
I need to go. I think I hear Bella. Yeah, she needs dinner.
Okay, so the topic I asked was for people to tell us about their worst sort of dice rolling experiences when the dice failed them. Hence why Justin is with us today, because if there's anybody going to talk to us about fucking up dice rolls, it is this gentleman with us here today.
I
So
am
before
very
we go
qualified.
into Justin's hour-long diatribe, we
Wait,
are
I've only
going
got
to
an
just
hour?
go over. We've only got an hour, so you are going to have to cut it down a tiny bit. So
All
I'm
right.
going to read off a couple of a few of the ones that were sent in to us.
my
So
God.
we'll start with friend of the show, Craig, as in Tezrak the Imp Slayer.
Ah, Craig.
So I joined a D&D group that was just starting at the local game store down the street from where I lived. The group was good, the players worth sticking with, but the DM had made it pretty clear that we were just along for the ride in his story. I was playing my urban ranger Grigor as a dwarf rogue. It was growing more and more clear that the kingdom was being infiltrated and termite hollowed out by an organization that was making cheap magic items with demon blood, and the party was trying to oppose it, but it was just too big and too pervasive by the time we realized what was really going on.
That's what she said.
I was frustrated, and I let that frustration bleed over into the character. We had a base of operations in the capital city, and we'd invited someone who the City Watch suspected of being a traitor, but they didn't really have the evidence. We also invited the captain of the guard because we were effectively deputies of the king. The captain of the guard arrested the suspected traitor under our roof, and that's where I lost it. I forswore the party and went on a killing spree, taking out city guard members who were already under the thumb of this evil organization. I was rolling hot, basically assassinating guard after guard without any real resistance. When my former party rolled to try and find me, they all rolled like 3 natural 20s, and he fucking failed this roll. So they caught me. I was tried and convicted and exiled from the city, went back to Port Adventure, the coastal village where the campaign started, only to find out that the organization had been sowing the seeds from the very beginning. That was like the casual, I started killing people.
Yeah, that sounds very correct. I'm not gonna lie.
They arrested someone that fucked up the city, and I fucking killed everyone. I was not.
I went on a killing spree. Connell sent in, not my fail, but it was one of my players who isn't on here, so I figure it's okay to share. Fuck 'em. Long story made very short. One of the PCs crit fails an insight roll into something going on in the middle of combat. So after dispatching a bad guy, he looks over to the cat alien PC and thinks said cat is pissed for killing his prey. Games later, the failing PC is deathly afraid of cat guy, who is going to get his revenge at some point. Avoids him, won't be alone with him, stays on the opposite side of the ship.
I know what he's talking about. I know what he's talking about because legit, like in character, this player character, the whole time it's been sessions later, and he is so good at staying in character. Those two will interact, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm on the other side of the screen." Like, you have to interact with this ambassador character. He's like, "No, I don't. No, he's standing too close to him. Nope, not gonna happen." I'm like, so, while that's an epic fail, phenomenal role playing.
All right, so we've also got one from Reverend Travis, and this is a short one. It's failing every history check when my character is an archaeologist. Shit. Every single one.
I can relate to that.
And now we're going to take a quick pause because we're going to say hello to our partners, because I have a feeling that this next bit's going to fucking take a while. All right, so 13th Moon Games is a family-run indie game company out of Wyoming, USA, who created the tabletop role-playing game Covenant Crucible. It's a game of modern-day witchcraft. If you can imagine the John Wick movies and the last Witch Hunter movie got together and had a really pretty baby, Covenant Crucible would be it. If you want to learn more, interested in joining the official Discord game, check them out on Instagram and message them on there. Also, step into a universe where fandoms collide. Welcome to Crossing the Nerdverse, your ultimate portal into all things geeky and glorious. Whether you're into comics, gaming, or sci-fi, we've got you covered. Discover exclusive interviews, epic debates, and insider tips from your favorite creators. Join the adventure at crossingthenerdverse.com and unleash your inner nerd. Embrace the passion, celebrate the culture, Crossing the Nerdverse, where every fan finds their place. And lastly, check out our merch store, where you can find t-shirts, hoodie, desk mats, other items with either our logo, Supernatural-inspired waffle on design, or our moves like Atlas design. If you want to support us more directly, you can head to our coffee page and make a one-time donation, or subscribe to our $3 a month tier, which will give you exclusive Discord access, a mention in our credits, and access to our weekly maps that I provide. And always, the best way to support us is by hitting that subscribe button and telling your friends about us.
Good or bad?
Good or bad, yeah, that is true. All right, Justin. Atlas and I are going to shut up for a bit.
Speak for yourself.
I was just reading the chat while you were doing that as well, and Connor was like, it'll be really funny if Justin's example is super short, like tried to punch a guy, failed, hit the wall, the end. That has happened, but that's not one of the stories.
Should have been. You should have just gone with
So we'll start with the character that made me first realize, maybe I rolled badly. Now, this is a character that John was present for because he was the DM. This was the first game he was ever running, by the way. This is way back when we first started this wonderful
just correction. GM.
Fuck off. The game-specific term I'm using that he doesn't like.
Wait.
GM is owned by Wizards of the Coast.
DM is a 5e Wizards of the Coast thing.
We know John has issues. He's got his panties in a bunch. No, that's not what
I'm not DM. I'm not DM.
You said when John first was DMing?
This was his first ever campaign that he ran. Yeah.
How long ago was this?
I think technically second.
Because
I did try running 5e beforehand.
Did you?
I was not part of
Dragon Queen. Horde of the Dragon Queen.
This was many years ago. Many years. Back when we were younger men.
Okay.
But essentially, there you go. Couch has already said it. I built a character specifically for grappling. The entire character concept was she was a grappler. I failed every single grapple check. Every single one.
Wow.
Without fail.
Yeah. No, that is not hyperbole either. It's just, it was just bad.
The worst thing about, so the most annoying thing with my dice rolls is they're not even natural ones, right? I don't roll natural ones very often. I just fail. It can be a DC 10, I will roll a 9. It can be 15, I'll roll a 13. I just cannot pass whatever DC you set me. And that's the issue, right? There was another situation, quite a few years later this was, and I've come to terms with the fact that I roll like shit and need to build my characters accordingly. I was playing 5e. I specifically built a character. I found a build online. I didn't even come up with this myself because I was that adamant that I'm going to fuck it up. I found a build online for a character build that does not use dice rolls. Everything is, they make saves, they do stuff, I don't have to do anything, right?
That's
it's all on them.
The game at that point.
It'll be fine. Had to, because I couldn't do anything else. So I built this character, and one of the spells I took was Magic Missile, because, very famously, you don't roll to hit, you just hit. All I have to do is roll damage. So I upcast the spell so I could get as many d4s to roll this damage as I could. I was rolling 6 d4s, and I rolled 6 ones.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it.
5 times.
I've seen those rolls.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's Justin.
It's just par for the course.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, Justin's luck is weird. Okay, because it's like, even on things where if you kind of flip if you were to kind of go, right, okay, fair enough, from now on, Justin, we're reversing the dice.
Oh yeah, it'll go the other way.
It'll go the other way.
Absolutely, it goes the other
100%.
way. So I found a tabletop war game called Infinity, which uses D20s for all of its stuff, right? And in Infinity, Nat 20, bad. Nat 1, good. I was like, sick. This is the game for me. I found it. So I started playing it. I rolled nothing but 18s and 19s. Nothing but 18s and 19s.
It is quite uncanny, to be fair.
Like, we have a bad luck player in our group, okay? Don't get me wrong. I love her to pieces. We give her shit for it. And she wants to murder us every time we joke about it. But, like, she can't roll the hit to save her life. When she does, she's like, oh my God, yeah, that hit spot on. It's like 1 point of damage. It's just kind of like, what did y'all do to piss off the universe so bad?
I don't know. And I mean, Connell just put one in the chat, which is very valid, and I wasn't going to bring it up, but it's entirely true. The entirety of Taser, the entirety of his existence was failed roll after failed roll.
I mean, you still survived.
You've witnessed it firsthand, Atlas.
I have. That was.
Wasn't there one in critting the Nerdverse as well? There were a couple.
Yes, yeah, there was a couple in there as well. My character, who is a master thief, failed picking a lock.
And the beauty of it is, like, in the crew, there were 2 master thieves, and they both rolled like shit. It was fucking funny. It was like, okay, so these are our expert thieves, and they're bumping into each other and shit.
All of my fails are, like, my epic fails are really good rolls. Like, I'm trying to lock pick a door, like a lock, and I, like, went too hard and broke the lock, or like, oh, I'm gonna attack this guy so I can get information about where the kids are being kidnapped. Oops, I beheaded him. Like, it's always that. It's always like it's never.
I want to run some Rollmaster for Justin, because not only can you fuck up a roll,
every character will die before we start.
You can continually fuck it up because they're open-ended rolls. So meaning,
all my characters will die.
If you crit fail, you roll again and add to it. So your failure could become, like, for example, I crit failed casting a spell, snap casting a spell. So I think the first roll, because it's a D100, the first roll was maybe a 3, which is a crit fail. So then you roll again. So then I rolled again and take it away. So I rolled another high. So basically, I ended up fucking critting 3 times on the trot and ended up putting my character in a coma. Yeah, and that is all codified in the fucking book because you've got charts that you go through. I want to run some Rollmaster just for shits and giggles.
It would not go well for me. I mean, another prime example was the introduction of a character I built for a campaign. So I was joining a campaign in, and they didn't have like any support in the group. So I built a Twilight Cleric Priest for the purpose of coming in and,
Why not?
healing and support and just helping out the party.
Yeah.
So the tried to give me a really cool entry to the group by putting us against something that a cleric's really going to shine against. They appeared, I immediately failed my wisdom saving throw, and I was feared for the whole fight.
Nice. There you go.
So
That's
the
what you
moment
want on your
designed for
intro.
my character to do well, I failed.
To be fair, I did that as a GM as well. The party went into a city, and in this city, I created a Batman analogy.
Mhm.
So there was a character that was essentially the Batman of this fucking city, and the party got into this fight with some very bad people, this organized crime gang. So all of a sudden, this Batman appears on a rooftop and jumps down. And instead of just kind of going, they jump down and it looks epic, I decided to roll on it, and I rolled a natural 1. So imagine Batman leaping off a building and twisting his fucking ankle.
I mean, I would pay to see that. That sounds entertaining as hell. But
It was funny as fuck, but it was like,
I've
shit.
probably done that. I've forgotten some of the fails over the years. There's been so many.
So in the chat, Connell has put that he's had a buddy who quit a game over his crit fail. In Shadowrun, you can choose how strong you cast a spell, then resist the drain exertion of the spell. He was like, I'm good at this, resist roll. He cast the spell at max potency and bombed his resist, dropped himself with the spell he cast. That's that's kind of Raw Master all over. That happens.
I miss Shadowrun.
Yeah, it's rough, man. It's being this terrible at rolling dice is really rough when all of the hobbies you enjoy involve rolling dice.
Now, have you tried digital rollers? Does that change it?
They're just as
Nope.
bad. They're just as bad.
Nope.
In
Yeah.
fact, they're probably even worse
Wow.
for me.
Justin joined our Abomination Vaults game for one session.
Mhm.
And yep,
Yep.
just as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't roll the dice in any way, shape, or form. And like I say, it's never that I just roll ones or anything like that. I will just roll lower than whatever the other person's rolling or whatever the DC is. Playing Risk with me is the easiest game in the world for you because no matter what I roll, you will roll higher. It will not. It will be fine. It's horrible.
I mean, Connell has a good point, but that's why you want to use cards in all your games. So you can
Yes.
sleight of hand.
Literally.
Absolutely.
When
Absolutely.
we were discussing building a game, it was like, I want to use cards because I don't like dice.
Oh,
Yeah, it's 100% accurate.
The
horrible.
only tabletop war game I've ever done well in and played well in is a game called Malifaux because it's entirely card based. There's no dice involved.
Yeah, I mean,
muted that in time, right? Did I mute that in time? Please tell me I muted that.
I
in
think
time.
so because I didn't hear anything.
Thank God.
wasn't
I heard
looking
it
at the
all.
screen.
No, you did. You muted in time. You're good.
It's like, oh, it got real quiet. I'm like, no.
I mean, Connell's just put something in the chat as well that is probably what makes me feel even worse about my rolls, right? Is he'd rather a crit fail than a regular fail because at least that brings unexpected stuff. And that's the issue,
That's fair.
right? Is at least so Will Wheaton, also famous for his terrible rolls, but he rolls nat ones most of the time, right? Like when
Wow.
he was guesting on, I think it was on Critical Role that he guested on, and he rolled
I
so
wouldn't
many
have a
nat. He rolled so many nat ones that even like Matt Mercer and that at the table were like, no fucking way you just rolled another one, right? That's how regularly he rolls nat ones.
God.
But at least he's got the unexpected stuff that comes with a crit fail. Because I'm
Yeah.
just failing, I don't even have that.
Oh. I can't even.
So what about you, Atlas? Because, I've shared some of mine. Justin's clearly shared some of his.
I
Have you got
haven't
any
even
sort of...
scratched the tip of the iceberg?
I thought you were going to say the tip of something else.
Yeah, me too,
I
to
haven't
be
even
completely
scratched
honest.
it.
I was like, time
Tip
out.
of the penis.
Time out. Honestly, I don't. This is horrible, but I don't like I said, I don't really have like, God, I bombed that roll. It's so bad. My fails are like, I rolled too high in the situation that did not call for it. Like,
There's a recent one that springs to mind for me, for you. I can't say anything because it's spoilers, but...
give me keywords. Because I don't remember rolling. Okay. I didn't roll badly. Y'all just fucked up, though.
No, you roll badly as well.
No, I did. I okay.
You roll badly. Because
Let's
you
see.
rolled and we all went, fuck.
Yeah. Oh, that was after the explosion because I was the backward. Okay. Okay. So let's see if I can do this vaguely. I'm playing a game of Mutants and Masterminds, and I play a character who has psychic powers that power alien tech chakrams. Bad and just that. Just move on. Anyways, and there's an explosion, and we had to roll to see if I survived as I'm flying backwards in the air without my chakrams, which is what powers my powers. And I can't spoiler alert, but let's just say that went horribly wrong. That went horribly
It did
wrong.
not go great. It did not go
Do you
great.
need to borrow my
was
healing
not
factor?
I did not think that my character was going to survive that episode. I was like, well, this is it.
So yeah, that was a rough one.
People, that was rough.
In chat they've put that you killed Forge. I think you've told us this story
That
before.
wasn't my fucking role, you asshole. Okay, no, I did not kill Forge. Okay, no, that was not my role. No. So there's this game, Mutants and Masterminds. I played basically think like The Thing, but crystals, spiky crystals, right? The DM, GM, whatever you want to call it, aka Connell, rolls whatever. He rolled a very, very large good roll. Okay. I didn't have to roll anything. That's not a fail roll on my part. However, our little friend who was like the character was like this 14-year-old boy with no powers activated was standing behind me during the really, 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 really high rolled blast. So when I went, it went, and then it went, and then he went splat. And I didn't roll that. That wasn't an epic fail on my part. That was just a really, really high roll on the DM and bad roll on the other player. You're such a dick. I did not kill Forge. I mean, I did, but I didn't do it.
I've got another story that I was told by a former friend of mine. I don't talk to him anymore, but that's a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
So he was running a game for some new players who hadn't quite grasped the concept of your actions have consequences yet. So they would regularly say stupid shit, and then right after, no, just kidding, right? And he was getting a bit sick of them doing that because they would say like really outlandish stuff, like I'm gonna swing my axe in his head. just kidding.
Mm-mm.
So they were doing this again. They'd just captured a bunch of they'd rescued a bunch of like the town guards from some bandits that had them surrounded and stuff like that. And the town guards were still currently like tied up, and they were going to like set them free. And while they were doing that, it's like, oh yeah, while we're doing that, I'm going to walk around just swinging my mace around. So it's like, okay, give me a roll. Nat won it. The mace went flying out of his hand, slammed into the captain of the guard's head, killing him instantly.
Oh my god!
Now they're wanted.
That's good.
They very quickly learned that actions have consequences.
Just had to warn somebody. I think it was Craig, but like when you're playing in a game with Connell, you need to prep it. If you're playing in a game with Connell and you have superpowers or a high-powered weapon of any sort, you have to preface lethal or non-lethal. Because if you roll high and you don't preface, like it's game over for that person.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like you can't do the like, oh, I'm just kidding. Like, I'm gonna power attack with natural this and blah blah blah. Oh, I didn't want to kill him, dude. Like, no, no joking about that.
I'm trying to rack my brain to see if there's any of mine that kind of stand out. I don't have Justin's luck, and to be honest, I've never really had one that has been that swingy, where it'd be, oh no, I am now fucked. Don't get me wrong, I've rolled my fair share of bad rolls, but nothing really stands out too much.
I don't know. I can think of one recently.
Oh, was that the catch?
Yeah.
Fair. I'll give you that because I think there's a narrative element where it'd be like, oops. But at the same time, there was a genuine. I failed that roll. That was pretty gruesome.
That was awful. Yeah, Sam, if you're watching an Inmate show, don't watch like the latest up-to-date one after the next one. Just don't watch it.
It'll be this Saturday. This coming Saturday is when it gets released. So yeah, I need to edit that. I mean, to be honest, the episode itself is edited. I just need to do the whole previously on which
Oh.
takes up more time than I expected it to.
There you go. Getting fancy. That's
Yeah.
what happens.
That's what happens when you get fancy.
Yep.
Are you going to start doing
Well,
it
yeah.
next time on Dragon Ball Z type thing as well?
Well, no, because of the nature of this fucking game. Next time we're going to
playing
roll
Dragon
dice
Ball
and see what happens. Next time someone will do something.
Look, I can decide what's going to happen in the future because I know I'm going to fail anything I try. So I just think about what I might
that is
try and
fair.
say it's not going to work. Job done.
That is fair. To
Have
be
you
honest,
thought about,
there is
like, purposely trying to set yourself up for successful failure?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, that could be a thing.
I
Yeah.
have tried everything.
And it doesn't work.
The dice just hate me.
what-
Whatever the bad outcome is what will happen every time if I'm rolling for something. If there is a good outcome and a bad outcome, I will almost always get the bad.
I mean, there was one recently in the Delta Green game that we ran. There was a haunted house. To cut a long story short, one of the players' characters got possessed and couldn't leave the house.
Oh.
Other player character was outside. So there was a bit of a, right, you need to kill him, take shots, blah, blah, blah. So one character firing from the house at the other character, not hitting anything. So the character that was outside grabbed a bunch of like petrol cans, gas cans, as you guys would say, and set the house on fire. So unbeknownst to them, the character that was possessed cannot leave the house. It was not able to leave the house. So I went, okay, I'll tell you what, give me a luck roll to see what happens, because this is going to have an... And he fumbled it. So it's like, right, your character is dead.
Man.
Yeah, fumbled the luck roll. So,
There was a brief moment in Shadowrun where I think I accidentally... Did I accidentally burn down the house, or did I accidentally freeze the house? I don't know. There's a phoenix involved, and, like, there's fire
Two polar
across...
opposites there.
Well,
The house was no more, is the short version.
Right. That's the short version. It was like
It
a
either
sneak out
burned or froze, one of those
We
things.
weren't even
Can't quite
investigating the
remember which.
house. We were investigating the apartments across from the house, but we were gonna like stake it out in the house. But then we found out someone had already been doing that, and there's like this like spirit of the phoenix or something. But I had ice powers, but I antagonized it on accident, so I think it blew up the house. But then I would like ice powered it, but then that kind of like froze over the area, and everybody was slipping and sliding. It was a hot mess. I shouldn't play casters. That's just the moral of.
I shouldn't play
So,
anything.
Couch has just added to chat hashtag Thomas lives. And Justin, coincidentally, you sent me a reel today, which
Yes.
kind of encapsulates what happened with Couch's character.
Oh, okay.
That, you know, something happened in game where he basically tried to step back from Delta Green, as well as another player's character who was investigating him kind of went, no, he's a liability.
Oh.
So I initially went, okay,
Oh, yeah.
so you see in the news the next day that someone, you know, a doctor died in New York, blah, blah, blah. And I intended to keep it purposely vague. But then Couch did the whole, well, actually thing. And I went, no, well, actually he's dead. No.
Yeah. I have strong feelings about
Yeah.
well actually players. Couch.
My intention was to kind of keep it vague and maybe down the line do something with that sort of thread. But the whole well actually thing, it was like, no, he's dead.
Actually, nope.
God, I fear for the player that ever will actually is at my table. Listen, I'm a fair player GM, and there's a lot of GMs. I've seen Couch do it. I've seen Couch be well actually, and he handled it very gracefully.
It's because
will
he's used to
not.
me.
I will not. Like, I don't have the patience and time and effort for that. Like, if you're gonna do that, run your own game. Run your own game. Anyways,
So, yeah, Thomas is dead. And he died horribly as well.
Couch is putting this. Yeah. Well, actually,
Well, I know
Thomas,
my
like-
character died.
Your character died because I discussed
Do you-
that with you.
Wait, do you
Yep.
even play with him?
No, that's why my character died.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
He used
So,
my
yeah,
character as a story point.
Yeah, we said so. We kind of so I had an idea because in the same thing with the haunted house, it's like, right, Justin, I need to run this by you because I've had an idea.
Mhm.
How about your character gets killed by the house?
I was
That's a
like,
cartoon.
you-
Tell me more.
There's a
yeah. So
cartoon-
basically,
oh, Monster House.
his because that's when you took a step away. You were in that operation.
Yes.
And Justin took a step away, so I basically his character disappeared one night, and you know there were obvious concerns, but at the same time it was like, well, there must have been a reason. And I had the house impersonate their Delta Green handler.
Oh,
So the house impersonated that person. So they all thought that Delta Green had called him and he'd left. And when they went in the house, they found him dead.
that sounds a lot like me and Tess had this idea for a game where the town was alive, and not like the town's mimic, but literally like the town, like the surfaces of the town, like literally was a sentient being. We didn't get very far in the planning, but we were like, oh, we should write shit together.
That sounds
So-
good. I've had
Yeah,
similar thoughts of things like that. Though that
Mhm.
sounds like a good module to
Yeah.
run.
yeah. Like she and I will
You'd
do
have
that.
to
We'll
play
like
the
just
system
randomly like spit
wisely
things
there.
out. Oh yeah, yeah.
I think something like Delta Green would work.
You think everything would work Delta Green?
Call of Cthulhu. No,
I
but
still need to play that.
D&D
mean-
and D&D and Pathfinder and all that, but that would not work. For
Yeah,
that.
that's what I was about to say.
know.
Like something
You think
like
that's
that
not gonna
wouldn't
work
work.
for that? No,
It
we're not
wouldn't work
talking
in
about that.
D&D.
No,
But
not
yeah,
at all.
I think it
It's
definitely
not the
sounds really
sort-
good. It would
Mhm.
need the right mechanics behind it though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
the right sort of. It's not the right sort of.
No,
vibe
it would
for
need to
those
be some
systems.
sort of eldritch horror system of some sort.
Yeah, Call
Yeah.
of Cthulhu. Maybe if you wanted to make it a bit more pulpy, you could probably do Modiphius's Cthulhu games.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
I keep forgetting they do those, to be honest. I'm like, oh,
they're
yeah.
good. I mean, Modiphius's games are good. You
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I don't think you weren't a fan, were you, Justin? Because we played Fallout, and essentially it's essentially the same system.
Yeah, so I think my issue with it was though it's not that it's a bad system, it's just that it's not for me. Like the way it all came together and stuff just didn't tick my boxes.
Mm.
So it wasn't that I didn't like it. It wasn't giving my brain the happy juice that other systems do.
No, fair enough.
It's like I can understand why other people would enjoy it. Like I could see the enjoyment.
Mm.
It was just for me the mechanics of it didn't sit.
Yeah.
And you know, that's fine. Is what it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, you try these
yeah.
things, you know whether that you like them or not.
Hmm.
I had my gripes with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the system itself was quite good, but I think it was, oh, it's a narrative system, but we're going to add these extra things to make it more and it just, there was a mismatch of that. There was,
Mm.
okay, it's narrative and you can play around with it. However, you need to roll on a table to see where you hit. It's like, why? What is the fucking point of that added system?
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, so I was in a bit. So Connell has added to the chat. See, an interesting reason people frequently give for why OSR games is good because it doesn't have rules for a lot of stuff, let you do what you want. I personally have mechanics that work for a particular thing, but definitely get some people prefer the specific absence of them. I like the middle ground. I like the middle ground. I like rules, but at the same time, I think they get in the way a lot of times. I like, you know, I kind of like your Blades in the Darks, where the things that need specific rules are there, but the resolution mechanics, it can be straightforward and simple.
You know, it's actually funny you say that because Spellhawks Press Island, aka Chili, my friend over here, is saying, isn't it weird that with board games we're fine with new rules, but with TTRPGs our immersion is huge and the rules can make or break that. And that's a solid point. I feel like I just had this conversation with somebody, but it's like it's a broken record. It really is. But like, find a system you like and play it. Like you said, your middle ground. You think that for some it works, some it doesn't. And I think that a lot of people take their personal experience and make blanket statements with it. And it's like, you can't do that. Like, that is so asinine. Like, it's kind of like, you can't do that because your experience is going to be wholly separate from someone else's experience. And
But
like,
at the same
I
time,
think that some rules work better for a game and a system, like we just said, while some don't. And that's why you have to figure out, like, what kind of game do you want to play? What kind of system you want to go play and go play it. Like, you can't say, oh, I want to play a narrative story in Pathfinder. That doesn't make any sense. Like, Pathfinder's not a narrative built system. Why would you expect that?
I think, but on the converse side to what you've just said, I think you also have to separate your enjoyment to something as to the quality of something. All right, you need to be able to kind of go, this system has major flaws. This system has incredible, unavoidable major flaws. However, I enjoy the fuck out of it. And I
Yeah.
would prefer that regarding someone to come out and just kind of go, yeah, the system's not perfect. It is far from perfect. In fact, it is broken in
I think people should be able to say that about every system
many-
they play.
Yeah, 100%.
There's
But there
not
is
a perfect system. And the other thing too is like, oh, well, the system is broken. Cool. By what quality standard are you talking? So, because
well,
then you
just
have the
by
question of
playability
like,
standard. The fact that there
your
are certain
playability or
systems
someone
out
else's playability.
there. In general, the fact that there is certain systems where
Is that blanket
in
statement
order.
again?
Can I finish speaking?
No.
Okay.
So the fact that there are certain systems that to make them playable you have to homebrew. The
I've
fact that
never
there are certain
experienced that.
systems that you're playing one now.
Which one?
Level up.
I don't have any homebrew in that. I mean, my
No, but the
campaign
fact
is, but
It exists as a homebrew.
okay. So Pathfinder's.
Yes.
Originally, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's an expansion. Like someone took it and ran with it, but that's literally
Exactly.
like.
Exactly. But this is Pathfinder better than D&D? This is essentially,
Oh, you're
looking
okay. You're
into-
talking about your thing against 5e. I get it. Okay, yeah. No, I see where you're coming from.
the fact that, the fact that these
Justin, you've been gone a while.
offshoots have so much success does imply that the original system definitely needs work.
I mean, yeah, but the same could be said that the fact that it needs work, but it is still one of the most popular systems, says a lot about the other systems, right? If you're going to use that argument of the fact that all these other systems exist because it needs work, but it's still the most popular of them.
Yeah, but why is it popular? I mean,
Tales
the
of
fact that
Divine
it's
is
backed
a
by
homebrew
Hasbro,
essentially,
the fact that they've got a multi-million-dollar company behind
I
it.
don't think that,
It didn't
I don't
always,
know,
though.
because like I didn't even know Hasbro backed D&D until literally I think
Yeah.
this year. Yeah,
But
like
it
that
Doesn't it doesn't stop the fact that they've been back since, however, was it 10, 15
I
years?
do like Chili in chat is talking about like all the
Yeah,
other
but
spin-offs. Like Tales
D&D
of
was the biggest game in
Valiant.
tabletop role playing long before Hasbro back.
Not when fourth E hit,
Yeah,
it dropped.
when 4th E hit, everyone hated it.
Yeah,
But
And-
but some
and
people
that-
stuck with
so-
3, and some people stuck with
Some people
3.5,
stuck with
and then
3.
3.5 became Pathfinder.
and
But
then,
then-
many other people moved to stuff like World of Darkness and Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah. So for a very brief period in history, it wasn't the top. But other than that, it's always been top.
And
So
it's
you
got brand
can't
recognition.
use an argument of these other systems exist because it's bad if it's still the number one system.
Well, I
Because
get
of
what
brand
he's, I get what he's
recognition.
saying. Like somebody
The
did
fact
have
that-
to alter the game to make it playable in order to have spin-offs. Like that's literally the concept of a spin-off, right? I mean, that's like to be completely honest, like that is the definition, right? So like John's right in that aspect, but like it still doesn't make that system bad. It could make there are things that need to be fixed in it according to
Like,
people's like
I don't run any
personal
homebrew in my
preference.
5e. All of my 5e is base rules. I
Yeah.
don't use
There you go.
homebrew rules in my game. I don't use homebrew anything. The only stuff
Yeah.
that's homebrew is the stories I tell because I don't own any of the campaign books.
Well,
so I
and-
write
and
my
John
own
and I
stories. But all of
actually-
the rules and all of the monster
yeah.
stat blocks and things like that are all based from the base rule books. I don't use any homebrew
See,
characters or creatures.
And John and I talked about this with one of our guests, Andrea, because what we loved about his material so much is that he writes all these games, these like one-page games, but then he's like, but if these rules don't make sense to you, if you don't like these rules, play it however you want. And we praised
Yeah.
him on that because it's like, yeah, like the point is to play a game and have fun. The minute we start slipping to this elitist of like my game's better than yours, like I don't know, like that's you can
But
have
there
your
still has
opinion
to be-
100%, but
There still has to be some sort of objectivity. There still has to be some sort of holding companies accountable. There has
okay,
to be
that's
some
different though. Holding
No, but-
accountability,
that's still very different.
accountability for being a
accountability
shit
for
company.
subpar products.
Like the company can be shit, but their product's still successful.
Successful and quality, again, they're not synonyms.
No,
But
they're
again,
not. But
I
it
think
depends on who
you're kind of
talking
putting
to.
your own because you are so against V as a product and as a company with Hasbro and Wizards and all that
Yeah.
sort of thing, right? No matter what they did, you're going to be against them, right?
That's fair.
It's just the
Not
way it is right
necessarily.
now.
And you have that right to be too. Like I
No,
would
Yeah,
never
absolutely, you have.
ever buy
But-
another. I'll never buy another 5e game. Period. I have a player and a friend who she loves it. She just bought the new player handbook. Go for it. She is in love with it, and I love listening to her talk about it because she gets so invested in the game. And I would rather her be invested in the game and play other games than me shit on her for being invested in that. And that
Yeah.
for me is the takeaway: is that it's like, why? Like I'm not going to give them the money, okay? But like I'm not going to tell someone else not to because in the end, that's it's not going to make a difference, you know? Like I just won't.
I mean,
And we all three have very varying, just because, like,
Yeah,
Justin
we
is
have-
pro
look, we-
D&D, John is
we-
so biased against it, and I'm in the middle
That's the
going
thing,
like,
I'm not
but
even
here's
pro
the
D&D.
nuts.
It's just the system I enjoy the most, and that's
Yeah,
not
and
to
that's
be
because
fine.
of
honest, I'm anti Wizards of the Coast. I'm not necessarily anti 5e. However, I think there has to be a certain level of objectivity, and to be honest, I'm interested in seeing what the new developments are, how they've changed, and how, you know, after the 10 years or however long that 5e has been in existence, as well as developments in other systems, what they're bringing out in this new. I'm very interested to see what they do.
I did not know that.
See, the thing-
Literally last session, you were like, 5e, who fucking cares? So I just kind
No,
of
I
assumed
mean,
you weren't
to be
interested.
honest, I don't necessarily care about it, but I am interested to see because I'm a fan of this hobby. I'm a fan of tabletop role-playing games.
I
I
think
would
so.
love to.
that's the thing though, right? You're saying about there has to be some kind of objectivity, but when it comes down to what systems you like, there is no objectivity because it is entirely personal preference. You
Yeah,
can't
it is.
put
That's literally a game.
objectivity onto preferences because no matter what, somebody's going to like something. Like it could be the shittest system on the planet as far as you're concerned.
I
People are still going to like it
love
because it's going to
Twister.
have someone that's into it. Well, they wouldn't have written
But
it.
when I
Yeah.
talk about a lack of objectivity, I talk about the fact that I can look at Blades in the Dark, I can look at Delta Green, I can look at all these systems that I enjoy and just kind of go, that's a bit shit.
yeah, and I know a lot
That
of
is
D&D
not
players that can
good.
do that.
Not as many though.
You don't
Because-
know as many. I
because
do.
the difference is when you talk about D&D and players talk about D&D, they talk about their experience.
In
And
your experience,
which is a valid point to say I enjoy my game, I enjoy my table, I enjoy this. But looking at the system itself and kind of going, you know what, they slipped up there.
yeah.
I
But
think
again,
that is
that's
something
personal because
that is-
there's rulings that you don't like that I like, right? And there's certain elements of the system and the mechanics that again I don't like that other players that I've played with do like. So
But the problem
again,
is
by
that-
what
that-
metric?
But the problem is that it doesn't matter what aspect of the game is disliked. It's the fact that players aren't open to that discussion. That
But they
players
are.
aren't
They
open
are.
to kind of go,
But
you
they
know
are.
what, in D&D,
They are, though.
I don't like this. But
John,
they
I
are, though.
actually
Doesn't
asked you about this one time because I was like, your experience with D&D players is valid. Like you have experienced players that won't have that conversation, whereas me, every D&D player that I've talked to is having that conversation. So it's like if you go into a game shop, okay, like if I walked into this town and I went into the game shop and started talking game with those people, holy shit, some of the most toxic people are going to be in there, and they're going to back their system 100% no matter what system it is, and they're going to act like I don't know anything. Period of story, right? But like those are not D&D players. Like they are not the example for everyone that I judge the game on. Like, so again, I get what Justin's saying. Like that is your experience that D&D players are like that, but that is not every D&D player because the majority of the D&D players I know, matter of fact, I can only think of one that doesn't think it's shit, like are willing to say, yeah, no, there's mechanics that are kind of broken. Like it's very like mid-maxy. So like, I think it's
I would
a
argue
thing about
Pathfinder 1 was a lot worse.
Don't get me started on Pathfinder. Don't get me started on Pathfinder.
No, but I 100% agree with Justin. Yes.
I mean, because that's the thing,
Pathfinder
right?
1.
That's why I stepped away from Pathfinder. Is I got fed up with it.
Yeah.
And it was mainly because of, and again, this is going back to experiences that we had at the table, right? We had a player that was at our table regularly. John knows who I'm talking about. That would min-max the shit out of his characters.
Yeah.
And it got so unfun playing in that situation because you either had to min-max to keep up or become irrelevant a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And that was an issue, right? And it just became really not fun to be in that situation, which is why I stepped away from Pathfinder as a whole, because I found that any Pathfinder game that I joined had a player like that. And I haven't really had that in 5e. Now, I know it exists in 5e.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
Right? There are
Totally
min-maxes in
exists.
every fucking system. But it's not as easy to do in 5e. And that's from somebody who likes to try and min-max. It's not as easy to break a character in 5e as it was in first edition Pathfinder.
Right.
And I think when I did try second edition Pathfinder, I think, and I'll be the first one to say this, I went in expecting not to enjoy it because I didn't enjoy Pathfinder first. And so I think it muddied the waters for me going in because I had a bad experience with Pathfinder originally. And I think that's where a lot of it comes from, right? Is
Yeah.
people will have a bad experience and then they'll fall back to a system that they know and enjoy. And because it's the same with like video games. I do it all the time, right? I'll try a new game, I'll hit a roadblock in that game, be like, fuck this, I'm going back to a game I know because I'm comfortable there.
Mhm. Yeah,
And it's human nature, unfortunately.
it really
And
is.
I think
And
that's where a
actually,
lot of
speaking
the problem comes from.
you just brought up human nature. And I think it's really important to bring up two things. Chili said, I think coming around the table and playing is the most important thing. I could not agree with that 100% more.
Mhm.
We as consumers have the power to say what we like with our dollars, but D&D is a brand that most people think it's all the TTRPGs. That is something that I agree with wholeheartedly. John said earlier in the show that like he went to the store and he's like, "Oh, you play D&D?" "No, I play TTRPGs." I think that differentiates, like making that separation is actually super vital and important because they are two very different terms. And D&D has been blatantly labeled as TTRPG lately. I do like that separation, but the human nature part is like Connell goes, is that a flaw of the system or the type of player? And I think that that's a very valid question.
Yeah.
It's a very
Well,
valid question.
I don't
And
believe it's
unfortunately, certain systems do allow certain toxicities to rise higher in certain types of players. Like if you have a super narrative story that there's no actual like risk in the game and it's literally just telling a story together, super competitive people aren't going to want to play that game, and that's fine. That's not their game. They are going to want to go somewhere more crunchy where it's like, I want to like do the math and I want to play Warhammer and things like that. I'm just the only thing I can think of with numbers. Yeah, right. But that's kind of more, again, human nature. Like what kind of game you like playing, don't play games with those kind of people.
Well, I don't believe this is something that we're going to find a definite answer to tonight.
We're here till we do
have
it.
kind of head out because I got work in the morning, so you guys just crack on. Let me
Yeah.
know when it's done and I'll do the editing. When you fix
Okay.
the world of tabletop role-playing games.
I
Done.
don't want to fix that. I just want to have fun in it. That's all.
All right, so I just want to say thank you to everyone who's joined us in the chat. We love you to pieces, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Justin, thank you for joining us tonight. It's fantastic to see you. We miss you like crazy, and let's hope that soon you'll be able to come back on a bit more of a permanent position.
Fucking better.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to that.
That
Is it worth
beard.
me telling you to tell people where they can find you on the internet?
Yeah, I mean, I have started streaming on Twitch again a lot more.
Ooh.
I just made affiliate, so yay.
Congrats.
So yeah, you can find me in most
Congratulations.
places at Just an Accurate TV, and so I'm on YouTube and Twitch under that, and obviously I am in the Discord as well, so you can catch me in there on occasion.
All right, Atlas, how about you?
Mainly on Threads, Instagram, and TikTok. Atlas Ursa. Atlas like the Titan, Ursa like the bear. Keep it easy.
All right, as for me, you can find me behind most of our social media presences. I'm behind our Instagram, our Facebook page. You can also find me at natural.juan on Threads. That's where I'm most active. But I'm also on Blue Sky and on Mastodon. If you like what we do and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. You can even subscribe to our Ko-fi page and be a $3 and up subscriber. Give you access to a bunch of shit. Other than that, I just want to say thank you to everyone. And if you want to help see us grow, then tell your friends about us. Let's kind of build this together. I just want to thank everyone for spending some time out of their busy day to listen to three idiots waffle on about tabletop role-playing games. Thank you very much. Good night.